Yeah, what's your read on Elk? Do you feel like there's a hero that we might see a little bit more?
Maybe. I mean,
10
I'm just
seconds
thinking as
remaining.
well, like how much the BKBs are gonna change too much because
5
like
seconds
15
remaining.
seconds less means you're less likely to fight into something like a Radiance, so Radiance therefore becomes better as a result. Um, I don't know. Like, it feels to me like Alchemist still could be a little bit greedy for me this meta. I don't feel like he does a
Radiant team pick.
fantastic job of pushing yet either, but I don't
Dire
know. I
team
think there are
pick.
teams that can make it work. And Nemiga look like picking up a Pugna for themselves, so
Into Snap.
it's into Snap, but it might not be into the lane. Like this might be a mid
Dire
Pugna,
team
for
pick.
example.
Radiant.
Love the clockwork pick this game.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is scary. This could be an Exort
Is
Invoker as well. I feel like there's potential. You can even go Coswex because Zeus and Pugna, but very nice targets to be able to get the Sunstrike with the Dragon Tail and the hookshot jump.
10 seconds remaining.
I guess not as much against the Zeus, right? He's always going to be able to now jump
5
out of the cogs,
seconds
which is very
remaining.
annoying. But still, the Treant, the Pugna, they are going to be the priority targets, particularly the Pugna, right? You just want to be able to prevent that life drain from happening, especially if this Pugna is being played as a core. So, yeah, there's justifications for going the Exort, of course, the cogs to enable the Sunstrike, but you've also got a Dragonite and a Snapfire lane potentially. But the Coswex, both for the EMP as well as just dispelling the decrep, for example, with the tornado.
Pick a Conker. Maybe it gets rid of
You
some of the.
reckon?
Conker's very good versus Invoker. You do not care about
Where's the
the.
Pugna go then? Where's the Zeus go? Like, is this a one
Oh,
conquer
that
then?
no, that's a very very good point. That's a very good point. I don't
Guess
know
they play
that.
like a 3 tree and protector or something.
Dire team ban.
Well,
Well, again, they do. That's not the Conquer, but it is something's gone crazy here for Nemiga. So, regardless, I don't hate the Void Spirit. It's a hero that's able to get on top of the Invoker, doesn't care about cogs, can
10
jump the
seconds
Snapfire as well
remaining.
to try and disrupt maybe the Mortimer Kisses. Always an Invoker
5
is vulnerable to
seconds
heroes that can
remaining.
easily get on top of you, and that's where the Void
Radiant
Spirit comes
team
into
ban.
play.
just give me a diffusal blade builder on Empire, please. Like all of these int heroes, it's going to be so impactful. Not just, of course, for the damage because they've got the higher max
Dire
mana pool,
team ban.
but you just
Radiant
reduce the
team
damage
ban.
output as well, right? If a Zeus doesn't have mana, if a Void Spirit doesn't have mana, you can't fight. And really, they're pretty independent of a lot of these. The Pugna's not going to be able to do a crazy amount. Like we've been saying before, they've got the Snapfire against it. You've got lots of mixed forms of damage. The
10
Decrep
seconds
defensively isn't
remaining.
going to be amazing. The Alk ban, is that
5 seconds
putting you off a
remaining.
bit?
No, my tea's freaking hot. That's what's putting me off.
Ah, I see. At least you didn't spill it on your keyboard.
Yeah, every time I'm drinking my tea now, I'm very worried that I replicate that.
Good
Okay.
anti-mage ban coming through from Nemiga.
I'm intrigued if they
Dire team
jug
pick.
ban, but the
Radiant
Invoker makes a lot
team
of
pick.
sense. Ooh, okay. Druids,
Snap picked as well.
very good versus spirits because the raw, the root, very good to be able to lock them in place. You banned out the life sealer as well, which is one of the better carry matchups versus Mr. Bear.
Even go now.
10 seconds
Uh,
remaining.
does Wraith King's
Just gonna say
5
potential.
seconds
the,
remaining.
the crit still work on the bear? I believe it does, right? Like just amps up the damage that it does because it's like a creep hero instead of a
Oh,
hero.
I'm not sure. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. Previously, it used to do like 4 times damage or something to the bear.
I would not hate a Wraith King. What's going on? Is this a
No,
so okay? What
this is why I love casting Eastern Europe because I don't know what the hell is going on.
Train Protector 1, Pugna 5, Zeus
No,
4, looking for no, okay.
tree
Uh
3,
say that again.
tree 3, perhaps.
You may now select your heroes.
Train 3, Pugna 5. And we will get the Terrorblade as our last pick for Kiritich. Kiritich has a very, very good Terrorblade, but they have ways to be able to blow him up. You jump in Dragon Tail, Mortimer Kisses into the Invoker Burst. So it's not a free TB game, but he does have a bunch of armor, which is always going to be nice versus the Druid. It is a offlane druid as well, and a carry dragon knight.
Okay, I'm just thinking like against the Treant Protector, maybe just wanting something that, you know, a lot of his damage is a little bit slower. So just wanting that Dragon's Blood to be able to withstand through that. Doesn't really want to be contesting into a Terrorblade with a Pugna. Does make it so that you are a little bit vulnerable, of course, with the slow coming through from the reflections. So maybe just feeling like the Lone Druid's going to be better capable of dealing with that. I don't know. I'm keen to just sit back and again, I said before in the first game that we cast of the new patch, be a sponge for what was happening with the meta. Feels like the meta has established a little bit now about that sustain, but I don't know what the hell Nemiga's going for. So I'm keen to see how they're able to make it work.
Yeah, I'm keen as well. I'm excited to see how this lineup's really going to be able to shape up for Nemiga, how the Druid is even going to fare as well, because this is also a hero that we don't see too often. I know both you and I are always looking to see how, like, the matchups versus Druid when he's strong, who you don't want to pick him into. So this is going to be interesting to see, because of course it is played in the position 3 role. So an interesting draft from either side. What is the Invoker gone?
Prepare for
Nothing
battle.
just yet. So intrigued as well. All right, so we do, however, have an interesting lineup. We've got a Treant Protector position 3, it looks like. He's got Wraithman already queued up. We have a position 4 Zeus picked up for Hellscream. And of course, that leaves the Pugna as a 5-4 so bad. So we were kind of intrigued about kind of who would be playing what hero, where the lanes would be set up. Well, there we go for Nemiga.
We didn't even see the tips come through in the SEA region, and immediately Eastern Europe just looking to get some value out of that one. I mean, with the last few picks that they've gone for here, it really does make it so that Pugna's honestly the only one that James actually really wants to get onto. Of course, I mentioned before the Zeus now
30
with the
seconds
Heavenly
to
Jump will
battle.
be able to get out of the cogs. You've got the Dissimulate for the Void Spirit. Terrorblade, you're probably going to die as this Clockwork. If you just hookshot in onto him, he'll turn around onto you and just burst you down. And Treant Protector is going to be hard-ish to find, I would say.
I do think the nice thing though with the clock versus the tree is rocket flare in the tree line. Yeah, that's a big thing. Vision, like you just said. And the Terrorblade, maybe you'll have burst to be able to kill him with Mortimer Kisses and Sunstrike as the game goes on. So I think there's always going to be that possibility. But it's not like it's a game where you see Zeus and you're licking your lips as a Clockwork, because this changed to this hero and people are putting a lot more emphasis on it now with the Heavenly Jump buff.
I'm
So-
just having a quick look and seeing how he actually skilled the Zeus when he played it last time from that position 4 role. Looks like putting a lot more emphasis onto the Lightning Bolt, not actually putting a single point in the Chain Lightning until level 10. So obviously not wanting to push the lane out quite so much, but I just have to wonder how capable he's going to be of sustaining that mana in the lane.
Yeah, we see he's gone for that 1 point in the Lightning Bolt already. For me, I'm quite concerned though. Like, is there ever a realm of possibility where this Treant Protector, well, it's a lot of they might be able to find First Blood. Lightning Bolt back up surely, but BZZ will be able to turn out. Retrograde as well as getting beat down. Okay, so I guess we avoided. Vazir is, what level? He's level 25 Treant Protector. So obviously he's comfortable with the hero.
Oh, I'm certainly not putting it past him to have a decent game. I feel like it's going to be all right for the Treant. Sorry, I'm just looking at James here on the bottom side, who's taken a little bit of damage here.
Yo.
Luckily, he had that Tango running. Love that from the supports in particular. If you're ever going to look to make an aggressive movement, always make sure to eat a Tango beforehand. And that ended up saving his life that time around. Would have been huge to be able to give that first blood over to the TB if possible.
Take a look at Shashlu's bear's name.
Just a sec. There's action on the top side. All right, we'll have the chance to do it. Plus 300. Very nice.
Do like seeing some people with how they name their summons. Got Southeast Asia. Someone on Execration is named one of their. I think it was Tino is named.
It might be Polaris. It might be Polaris that have named it Bob, the bear.
Someone over there in Southeast Asia is named the bear after Mr. Bob. or even the ball. I think regardless, it's funny. I like to say that we do have a G underway. Retrograde is very far pushed forward.
So does it hurt real bad?
See, they got the lightning bolt out and Vajil with the right clicks, but Retrograde is going to be able to reposition thanks to the Scatter Blast slow.
Again,
bottom lane,
I'm being
though,
a sponge here.
that was a lot of damage, but we're chilling.
What do you think about the Tree and Protector Phase Boots Earn build?
You're asking me the wrong. You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, and lots of these little stutters. Hopefully, I mean, I've seen it in some of the Division 1 games where there was some lags happening, even the complete stuttering, but we haven't really experienced too much of it ourselves, so hopefully it's a temporary thing for both these teams.
Seems like Eastern Europe's having some bit of issues with their servers. All right, we can go to your question now with the phase boost and earn on Vajra. I don't know. I don't know. It's very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
what do you go? You're not upgrading this to a spirit vessel, are you? I guess it's a DK core, pretty good versus percent damage versus the bear. Do you feel like this is just a casual earn?
It's not bad at all. I mean, especially if the Invoker is going to go this Quas Wex style as well. Of course, more points at the Quas. Good to be able to get the damage reduction. Sorry, not the damage reduction. The healing reduction in onto him. I'm just wondering, like, what Tree's role is exactly this game, because kind of similar to what we saw in the SEA series, this is a draft where I guess Pugna can help, but it realistically only is the Terra Blade that's going to be looking to push. Like, if you're not going Meteor Hammer on the Tree and Protector, you're not going to be able to help with a push. Also, your sustain suffers a little bit. I suppose you'll have the mana boots on the Zeus to be able to keep him topped up in that aspect, but I don't know. I'm keen to see how they're able to make this work.
It definitely feels like, though, we've got a game where there should be a lot of action in it. Maybe not through... Honestly, a lot of the lanes we've already seen kind of the back and forth with the right clicks. Is Shashlo gonna get that Savage Roar off? James wants to continue to punch back into so bad, but he's only got level 1 at the moment on the Clockwork, so it's not really going to be able to pump in too much damage.
It could be a kill at any moment on this bottom side, honestly. Sobad's doing a great job of getting a lot of these harassers out, both onto the Clockwork as well as the Lone Druid, and it's certainly not a lane where Pugna has the freedom to be able to just get that off nice and easily. That decrep, it's just a little bit too short range, otherwise he would have been able to secure that kill onto the Clockwork, and they might actually get it onto Shashlo instead, but nice use of the fear. Yeah, Sobad, his laning's always been pretty good. I mean, we have to remember that this is a guy that was on Yellow Submarine, which then turned into Team Spirit, the TI winners. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't part of that roster, of course, once they made that change, bringing in Mirror instead, previously being a POS 4 player. But, you know, he clearly has the potential if he was scouted out as being part of that. He had some good results during some online European tournaments like ESL 1 Germany back in the day. So... he's certainly no slouch.
Up lane. A lot of damage into the Tree Protector, but with 2 points in leech speed, Vajra can stand his ground and beat into BZZ. Sapphire is able to reposition to the north, so they will not get a kill just yet.
Not on my watch.
Maybe they will now,
Side.
actually, yeah.
Might die.
Double stun, BZZ. Gets in range for the Scatter Blast, and there we go. Finally, we've got our first spot. It's been a lot of back and forth. Both sides just kind of posturing aggressively, seeing who's got the most damage to be able to get that kill. And well, finally, it comes out from Empire in this top side of the map.
And this is what I was talking about in the draft as well, right? The Zeus isn't really one of those heroes that's able to prevent those type of movements from happening. You know, you're not a saving support. You're not anyone that has any kind of regen component. You don't provide a stun. It's really just a very minor slow that you get with the Heavenly Jump. Scream might look to try and commit in onto BZZ here, but it doesn't look like you'll have the damage to be able to turn this one around. Even looking to get aggressive, perhaps. Not sure if that's the best option. Might be able to snipe this courier here, but good micro coming through from DK, protecting his boots.
And a 1v1. I'll be losing that one, BZZ. They get some damage from Hellscream. Vajra, again, posturing aggressively.
Wanted to make sure he was body blocking the small camp, and well, it's kind of surprising that against a Zeus, I know mana is such a precious commodity for a Zeus in a laning stage, but this Observer Ward on the high ground has been able to stay there for the entire time. So it would be nice little gold and experience injection for him if he was able to get it, but it's just about to expire. And even now, retrograde 2 points in the Dragon Blood, right? So he's going to be able to sustain against a lot of this slower damage, like damage over time coming out from the Treant Protector, at least until he's got the phase boots. But then again, by the time that comes around, you're going to be, level 6 probably on the DK. You're going to be level 5 perhaps on the snap, and then, your own turnaround potential is very high too.
How worried I am about missing a kill. I see everyone's health pool, and I'm like, guys, give me a break. You're gonna give me a heart attack. I'm just jumping from lane to lane.
It's a great Zeus game. He's going to be able to get one of those ultis off eventually and get a rampage.
Get a holy, not a rampage for Hellscream.
I've done it once. I've done that once before. I have pressed R and got a rampage.
Wow.
It was great.
Just click R. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think it was in like one of those like meme gameplay compilation videos by, Try Mike, for instance. Mike Marvo.
Oh, BZZ. Oh, Cookie? No, I did not. Obviously, it's a small creator. No surprise.
It's not a small creator.
Clip must not have been too good.
That was great. I mean, the only reason I got it was because the Void chronoed his own team on the enemy team. So we'll ignore that.
Good old Void. Well, speaking of the Void, Spirit's botting mid as he's going aggressively for the rune. BZZ might be in trouble as well, but again, Hellscream without really abilities to be able to funnel in the damage. Meanwhile, Squad, he's solo with a Void Spirit at the moment. One more right click, not enough to get the kill, so he's going to turn his attention over to the Zeus instead. They know the Heavenly Jump was used prior, so James, great position for the Clockwork, wrapping around on Nemiga's location to secure their second kill.
Also bad, going for the snipe there, able to take away the double damage, but importantly for Squad, in his laning potential, you can see Tornado EMP available again, and he just got the Urn of Shadows delivered prior to picking up that kill. So very nicely done. Of course, the EMP going to be a great tool. I mentioned for it being effective against the likes of the Pugna with the Decrep, but against a Void Spirit as well with the Resonant Pulse. Can look to get rid of a lot of that physical damage resistance coming through. There we go. Pugna immediately just brought from full to basically 0 mana as a result of that EMP.
DP's top. Nemiga going to be playing with 3 heroes. Retrograde is not an easy kill by any stretch. Maybe with the Void Spirit's burst potential though with the level 6, they might be able to do it. Cookie Sun's going to hold them back, but Retrograde is too far over in this lane, so we'll have no chance to get back to the tower. It's a nice rotation coming through from the position 2 of Nemiga.
Looking to give So Bad a little bit of that priority through, of course. Against a Snapfire, against an Invoker, it is still very important to have those levels up on the Pugna to be able to, sustain someone like the Zeus, to be able to have that consistent impact in a lot of these team fights. Same sort of thing with the Void Spirit, but I was mentioning before that their pushing potential is a little bit lacking. Of course, Kiritich having a very good game on the bottom side, leading the net worth right now, but you don't want to leave it all up to him. It's just about having that extra couple of points in the Nether Blast to be able to convert any kind of teamfight victory into an objective as well.
It's pretty important though for the Void Spirit. He's able to find the Illusion Rune. Nothing crazy that he can do anything with. Oh, actually, I guess if he holds it in his bottle, it's going to be nice to purge off the Cold Snap or a slow from the Scatter Blast. But just mainly just keeping the resources up. That's really important thing because we saw him get the kill top, and as a Void Spirit, you really want to be staying on the map and getting active.
It's going to be easier, kind of like what we saw previously with the Storm Spirit, right? Once the Pugna hits level 6. So the fact that he's almost level 5 is good. Means once that Tome is available, if they opt to give it to him, then it's just going to buff up this Void Spirit's impact even further. I think he's got the Power Treads coming out to him now, as well as the plus 200 mana from the Tumbler's Toy.
Treads is very interesting. I do not usually see treads on Void Spirit, so I'm Quite intrigued about the choice for him to go down this route.
I'm trying to think as well, to be honest. More stats overall, more skirmishy, but typically... Well, oh, sorry. Top lane. Overgrowth being used for this first time. Trying to get the Heavenly Jump in to be able to close this out, but oof, squad just off.
Uses the own charge as well. They won't be able to catch up. Gonna drop some abilities. Actually, they do. Okay, Hellscream gets hit by the EMP. So it's going to cost him his life. They have to use another earn charge to secure the kill. He's making him work for it. He could get the deny. Oh, that was close. But hang on. Look at the time he's been able to make. Nemiga, 3 heroes rotating to the outpost, but they are lacking stuns, so BZZ leaps back to the safety of the tier 2.
Able to pick up anything. They know exactly where they are as well because they were walking underneath the outpost. So James looking to set up for that top power rune. It's going to be bot instead. And of course, taking it away from a spirit hero feels good every single time. It's actually going to be Zeus picking up that tome. So he's got the Thunder God's Wrath available for his team. Just again, to be able to assist with a lot of these ganking attempts. So BKBs are the real thing that you're looking forward to on Team Empire. But honestly, outside of the DK, doesn't really feel he was able to just get away from the EMP in mid. There's no real natural builders for that BKB.
We've kind of avoided charge slow down bottom. What are we expecting this Lone Druid to itemize as a position 3 this game?
I mean, he's going into the Mithril Hammer, but it does feel like going up against the Terrorblade isn't the easiest task for a Lone Druid, right? Once he gets the Skadi, you're just able to all-in focus onto the Bear and then deal with him pretty quickly. I feel like it is a target that's vulnerable if you could just slow him down a little bit, and that's what you're going to be able to have with, of course, the Treant Protector, with both the Nature's Grasp and the Leech Siege. You've even got the Heavenly Jump that provides a movement speed slow for
Lane
2.5
retrograde.
seconds.
They're going to try and bring down the Dragonite. You see how tanky he truly is. It's an incredible overgrowth, but there's no damage for them. Void Spirit's already spammed out all his abilities, and our squad as well is going to get the slow on Vazja. So Bad's going to look to connect the Pugna. See how much damage you can really pump into the fight, and it looks like Empire are just happy with what they're getting out of the map. Like, Sharchloot takes a bottom tier 1 tower. You get the kill into the Void Spirit, so the position 2 is really struggling on Nemiga.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was just wanting that better lane for mid, I suppose, considering, you know, hypothetically, you're meant to be able to avoid a lot of these EMPs through the use of the Dissimulate, but even though he's maxed it out and he's got that lowest cooldown imaginable.
Hellscream. Nice jump away. Now Sobad's going to try and wrap on through. James, unfortunately, still without the level 6. That's really what you're needing on Empire, it feels like, to start this fight. So that you do have Retrograde soon to complete the Blink Dagger. So maybe once they get that and the hook, then we can see them make some more aggressive plays. They are beelining back to top. They don't want to be giving towers up for free, it looks like.
Go, Snapfire, just the one value point in the little shredder, able to deal with that Nether Ward, and now they're going to feel so confident in being able to take this team fight. You just don't do anything on Nemiga with this draft that they've gone for here, or even messing up the life drain, unfortunately, on Sobad, so he's not going to be able to replenish his teammates. Maybe might use the mana drain before he goes back to base, but no. Oh, okay, he just clarities himself and then goes right back on out. You need to enable your Zeus as much as possible.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this and I feel like Empire are just really comfortable with the status quo of this game. I believe in their lineup late game is hold that thought. James, there we go. Gets the hook shot, level 6 online so we can jump Hellscream. But the only issue is he's always able to get other cogs, but he can't escape the tornado. The squad catches him out from afar. He's able to secure their 5th kill of the game.
They can even look to go for more pickoffs if they were choosing too soon. Retrograde having just picked up that Blink Dagger for himself. I can understand the Zeus wanting to go for the Aghanim Shard next. Also the Energy Booster, just because, you know, you are up against these heroes that can get pretty tanky. 3 strength heroes plus a Lone Druid Bear. Going to be quite nice, but you don't really offer anything in this stage if you're not getting kills, and so far he's only had that 1 kill involvement. It's not like there's a stun to set up for your Thunder God's Wrath, for example.
Man, I don't know. I'm continuing to... Oh, hang on, top lane. Overgrowth Solar use with the help of So Bad's Life Drain Burst. That'll be enough to get rid of James. And finally, the T1 tower. I'm continuing to look at this Empire lineup, and I feel like they're going to have a gigantic mid-game timing. Like, you have this Lone Druid that's free farming. DK's ridiculously farmed as well. They might even get a Void Spirit kill. Not going to get him much distance away. And the Blink is up as well for the Dragon Knight to close the distance as well. But the Zeus does a really good job to cancel the Blink. But he runs straight into Charge. So, and in fact, Retrograde's going to go for Hellscream as well behind the tier 2 tower. Alacrity, bonus damage given over, even cook it further on forward. Beautifully done as Empire find a second kill.
They know Sobad's out of mana as well, and they use the fortification there. So if they were wanting to, Shachlo could actually look to put a little bit of pressure onto this tower, but just choosing to continue farming. Again, this is a true triple core lineup that they've got now.
I don't think you're worried about late game with how they're going to scale. Like, Invoker late game is very scary. You got a Train Protector 3. Like, how are you going to scale? A Blink, double Overgrowth potentially? I don't know. But it's also Digest. They got a really good mid-game timing. Is hanging on top lane. James and squad combined together. They're onto the Terrorblade. He's got no mana. No opportunity for Kiritich to land the Sunder. First death of the game. He was top of the net worth, and that is a gigantic kill for Empire.
Yeah, he is the one option that they have to be able to come back into this game. I was mentioning before, if he gets the Skadi, if he gets a good amount of levels and stats, you are able to deal with the Lone Druid, make him much less of an effective tool. You've also got all of those other ranged heroes in the Invoker and the Dragon Knight, of course, in the Elder Dragon form, to be able to have that greater effectiveness against. And, I mean, it's not exactly like team fight control, but it helps, right? You just want to make sure that your Zeus and your Pugna aren't the main targets for Empire to look to try and focus on too. But I mean, it really does feel like until that point, life is just so hard for Zeus and Pugna to play this game.
3,000 net
Even
worth.
means that the POS 3 Treant is forced to go into a 4-star. That's not what he wants. You know, he's forced to do this because he's up against a Clockwork and the root through.
It's your, oh, you got it. Oh no, the first hit root. What? It's not getting any better for Nemiga. But get the Zeus off the right side. They're even going to be able to chase down Vajra. Overgrowth used defensively. One of Makis is getting laid down. Shachlo should easily close the distance, and Retrograde will fly on over as well. This is starting to get out of hand.
I'm keeping the copium there. I still think that this Terrorblade has the potential for the impact. Like, they've only taken one tower. They'll take a second now. But the Lone Druid does fall off against the TB, for sure. I'm just worried that, again, it is a legitimate tri-core lineup. They've been able to find Sobad. He's out of mana. You're looking to get very greedy with this Pugna. And I'm not sure what he's doing playing solo when he's got that Netherward maxed out. That is a team-fighting style of build, not a split-pushing style of build. So just the positioning not quite on point.
I'm going to green set this Druid is definitely a hero that does fall off, but I again feel like they're going to hit just such a huge mid-game timing with this 3-core lineup where I feel like DK and Druid are going to have so much health where it's very difficult to blow them up, especially with how far behind the Void Spirit is. Like the Zeus, you were hoping this hero would scale a little bit, but hasn't really been able to find any gold to get those smaller items to pump in the damage. So yeah, you're really asking a lot out of this Terrorblade. But it's not like... how are you going to enable him to right-click? Because I feel like they're just going to run at the Terrorblade and he won't really be able to hit anyone in these fights.
It's on the back of the Train Protector, right? He just needs to be there with a solid Overgrowth to be able to try and turn things around. You've got I was about to say an okay amount of damage reduction with the Nether Ward, of course. Just the 1 point in the living armor is going to do a little, at least, to be able to block the damage coming through from the likes of the Lone Druid Bear, but well, looks like they want to make an aggressive move while they can. Fresh Manta picked up.
Alright.
Trying to catch Shachlo. That'd be a big deal.
And they will. It's easy kill. Looks like Kiritich going to commit the Metamorphosis for it. They'll even Thunder God's Wrath as well, just to scout out Empire's heroes and see if anyone else is nearby just to jump in and if they were baiting the Druid. Go for so
They were lucky enough on Nemiga as well to be able to pick up the Philosopher's Stone as well. So Zeus, one of the better heroes to be able to hold on to that. So that certainly is going to accelerate his farming a little bit. course, he switched things up. He's not going into the Aghanim Shard anymore, just saying, I want the energy booster just for the sustain. Never mind, he's going back into the Shard. But he wanted the Aghanim Scepter as much as he could. But it feels like you're in a game where this is a position for Zeus, and he's last on net worth. He hasn't been enabled by the Pugna, had a pretty terrible lane.
They're going to fight.
This is why it's
Retrograde.
not picked.
Jump with the high gun. Oh, even one of the kisses again for a support. Just immediately old so bad Pugna. They feel the need to be able to drop the ultimate for it. Retrograde.
Yep.
Alright, they're gonna find him. Rocket Flare runs straight to the Dragon as well, but the Void Spirit's gonna come to the party. They're clumped up for the moment, but he doesn't want to stick around, especially with Chargelo showing up one route and even a bash for good measure, and he would be dead.
Boom, there it goes.
One of the better items to be able to stop a lot of this aggression that... Does literally every hero have it? No, 3 out of the 5 heroes on Empire have the raindrops, just to be able to say, okay, well, Zeus, you might be able to use the lightning bolt, but you've only got a set amount of mana, and, well, not going to have that big level of effectiveness against us if we just buy a super cheap item. With that, opens up the Roche Pit. They've got the vision advantage, of course, with the Cliff Ward. They've got a Clockwork showing on the map, because, of course, he's not going to help too much with that Roche taking. And, yeah, just... the rich get richer, it seems.
I'm trying to... Maybe if Kiritich gets this Skadi by the time they siege high ground, because I don't think you're going to stop them. You're not sieging high ground with this Aegis, actually, so... As long as his game doesn't get too out of control and he doesn't die a couple of times, you're really going to need this item. He's going BKB afterwards as well, so it's going to be a bit defensive, but maybe you're playing off the back of, like you said, just a big overgrowth with them diving too deep inside a base, and then Kiritich freely being able to right-click heroes down.
They really need to get, like, a kill somewhere. Like, they're going to be feeling a little bit confident on Empire with this Aegis, so they might be a little bit more split than you would originally expect. Treant just needs to get the charges into that Spirit Vessel. He also needs that little bit of a boost in gold just to make sure that the Clockwork isn't going to have as big of an impact. Honestly, even the EMP and the route coming through from the Lone Druid as well is good enough reason to be able to buy the 4-staff. But yeah, something needs to happen. You can't just sit back and allow this net worth lead to continue to grow.
I don't... Who do you play with, though? What, you reckon Void Spirit Zeus try and set up on a side lane for a pickoff?
Yeah, literally 1 kill. That's all I want, just so that they have that turnaround potential to maybe use the Spirit Vessel when Empire dive too deep because they're feeling confident.
We do see kind of the read from Nemiga with this Aegis getting picked up from Empire is just stall. That's it. Like, Vaz just top trying to push out with the Nature's Grasp. We even see bottom lane Hellscream is just spamming with level 1 Arc Lightning. Of course, it's not the best tool, but gotta use whatever you have in the arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those situations where it's like, well, if you're losing, you've got to try and split up the map as much as possible. We've seen how effective Team Empire are at their team fighting so far. Of course, 14 kills to the 3 on Nemiga. So if you split things up and you farm 3 separate lanes, someone's going to die, but not everyone's going to die. And you're going to be able to recover that net worth deficit a little bit. You know, obviously Hellscream wants to be able to pick up that Aghanim Shard just so that he can have some kind of impact in these team fights to come.
Are scanning.
Scans on the marks. They know someone's nearby. The Sunstrike on the right. I thought Retrograde was going to jump straight on Hellscream. Should be able to charge him down. Tornado. They have the ward, so they're going to see him as soon as he leaves the tree line. Oh, no. Okay. There's no way he gets out, right? Retrograde. Okay, they get the cookie. And Mr. Zeus stuck inside the cogs, and the damage will funnel in afterwards. You go high ground?
Dire's structures are fortified.
You consider it. I mean, you're still up against a Treant Protector. He's got 2 points in the living armor. So, not amazing, but I mean, it's a bear with demolish.
Dude, he's gonna jump. Yeah, I was gonna say, so bad, you can't be positioning like that. Not against the lineup that Empire have. They are gonna be having no hesitation. Void Spirit's going to try and get in the middle. The Invoker is very far pushed up forward on squad, but he's going to be protected by the BKB and the Cookie, but he's
Nice
rooted in
overgrowth.
place as Vajra gets the Overgrowth, locking them together. It's a lot of damage onto the Invoker. This is a great fight for Nemiga, as even Curitage is going to look to get involved as well. They'll deal with the first life.
You're not done.
He's got BKB. He might be able to BKB TPR. Retrograde's going to try and attempt it. The Metamorphosis hasn't been popped. I think Curitage gets that kill with meta, but of course, you always hesitate. You don't get the kill, then it's on cooldown, then maybe they just respawn and walk it down.
It's so huge to get that big kill bounty as well. Would have he's even finished up the Scotty beforehand. They were so close to being able to take that tier 3 tower as well. And this is the one avenue that we were expecting perhaps Nemiga to be able to come back in. You know, just going for that little bit too deep of a dive. It was a BKB that needed to be popped by the Invoker. You know, he was in too deep, but just the positioning coming through from Vajra, very effective. And now, with that, he's got the one Spirit Vessel charge, obviously needing to use the previous one to be able to attempt the kill, but bringing himself closer to the 4-star. So slowly clawing their way back, Nemiga.
We going Vajra or Vajra?
Either.
That doesn't really
Tomato,
help.
tomato.
No.
It's a regional dialect, you know?
Okay.
You a grass or a... No. Are you a castle or a castle kind of guy?
Castle. I'm not some absolute
Are you a dance or a dance?
dance.
See? You can't have it both ways. Well, you can. I'm the exact same as you, actually. But English is weird, okay?
Well, Australian English is always correct,
True.
right?
We are the best.
we are the best. James, how's this man almost got a scepter? I guess he's 2-1-8. James had a very good game so far in the Clockwork. Look at this man.
Rock it on.
Oh yes, love me some Clockwork. I feel like this year again, we were mentioning it earlier in Southeast Asia. I feel like the Clockwork might be rising to popularity a little bit more, especially with the battery assault, just being able to find that little bit of farm. I think you even mentioned that could now help you get that scepter.
That game, it was in particularly because it was against a Puck who, you know, you needed that lockdown to be able to burst him. This game, it's kind of similar, right? Like, if you let a Zeus free cast, then obviously he's just going to have a very easy team fight, but, you know, that's what the Aghanim Scepter is going to be good for, right? You get the initial hook onto him, you force out the Heavenly Jump, then immediately just hook again, second cogs, and then suddenly Zeus is caught, vulnerable. No real way to save him outside of maybe the Treant Protector using his own 4-staff to try and save.
All right, so what are our thoughts on Curitage solo carrying this game? Is this a Terrorblade game where if he gets 6-slotted, then they don't have the answers to him?
6-slotted, yes. Before that point, I still feel like it's going to be Empire in the lead all the way. I'm still on the fact that Zeus scales, right? Like, he is going to be able to do a lot of damage if you are able to make a recovery.
Nicely done. Okay, so we're really looking, and for Nemiga, they are not too, well, yeah, you're down, but at least you know in the back of your mind, if Curitage gets enough farm, he could be able to carry us.
Yeah, you're down but not out. And this is what I was talking about before as well. I think it's just so important, and it's the wise decision that they're making right now to try and split the map up as much as possible. You've got the Illusion pushing mid. You've got a Void Spirit, of course, very quickly able to remove a creep wave just by bursting it down. Astral stepping back into the trees. And then you've got this Treant and Zeus pushing up on the top side of the map. So farm 3 lanes. Hope you don't die just through your clever movements and the vision that's been placed down by Empire. And then if someone dies, hopefully it's a support or
Nice.
a very good use out of the Thunder God's Wrath to be able to catch out this smoke. So they know the positioning and they're going to be able to retreat in time. So yeah, I mean, this net worth lead, even after that previous team fight, has gone from 6k back down to 4. Like, Nemiga are being more efficient right now.
And it's not like they have the worst pick off on Empire. Clockwork, Invoker, Dragonite with Blink. It's definitely not horrible. I guess they do have some immobile heroes, so we kind of see how Nemiga are using that to their advantage. Like, you might get to a stage where you need to start putting maybe some Tinker Wards up, just because Vajra he's made top his home. He hasn't really left this lane for quite some time. He's even got a ward that he's kind of playing with at the moment too.
Well, you need the Tinker Ward and the Sentry as well, because he's got the Aghanim Shard. He chose to go that prior to picking up the 4-star for himself, just because that's going to provide you that invis. So, I mean, things can turn around a little bit, I suppose, if you've got that that detection. Maybe again once Clockwork hits level 20 and you've got the Rocket Flare reveals invis as well, but I mean that's a long way down the track. He does have his Ags finished though, and the level 12 timing, so that's going to be nice.
So do you feel like Nemiga are in a position to force a fight now though with the BKB completed on Kiritich?
I kind of don't feel like they need to, you know? Like Zeus just wants to continue farming up. He wants those levels. He's got honestly even just the 1 point in the Arc Lightning feels fine. Just because you want to get the value out of the static field as much as possible. And yeah, it's just all about delay, delay, delay. Get Kiritich more items. If he's able to pick up this Daedalus, it's going to be a nice tool. Again, it's just all focusing in onto the bear at the start of a lot of these engagements.
Oh.
Speaking of the bear, he's nearly reached up to level 20 on Shachlo. Top net worth on Empire.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Shachlo is looking... Oh, there we go. Roshi's on. Yeah, he's looking incredible. This Druid. And he's going down... I'll say the Gunner build, just because he was the first one that I really saw do it with the kind of spam of Wraith Bands. With the kind of 25 minutes heading through, so you get the double effectiveness out of it.
For the real Druid as opposed to the bear.
Yes, yes, yes.
Also hitting up onto level 20. He's
Rogue's gonna fall pretty fast.
Yeah, they pre-pop the true form as well. It's only got 10 seconds down.
Thundergords, they're gonna jump James straight onto the Pugna, but he's dropped the Nether Ward for the fight. Void Spirit's gonna show up and reveal the Acceptor, but they're onto Kiritich. A very defensive BKB as Terrorblade's not able to enter the fight, but they got squad. They blew up the Invoker off to the north. Oh, no way, Nemiga. Are they gonna get this?
They could. I mean, they're running out of the BKB duration on the Terrorblade, so maybe they can look to re-engage, but you used a lot. No BKB used just yet on the Dragon Knight, though, might give them that little bit of confidence. They know that the Nether Ward was killed in the previous fight as well, but Shachlo's ready to fight. Like, Bear is about half HP, but you've got the resummon, so I think they could absolutely look to take an engagement right now.
Alright, what is the play for Empire? I don't no, you're not going to buy back. Roche will fall too fast for him to get him back to the fight. So you got BKB
You Cookie and 4-staff the bear at the exact same time. Catch out Malrine before he's able to get the Astral Step off or the Dissimulate, burst him down, get some lucky roots, and then maybe look to try and kill Roshan as a result.
Okay, right, well, force into Cookie, let's see. Mr. Plus 300 Bear, are you able to get back into the fight? Ready? They have all 5 heroes. It's so bad. Did he?
I mean, they've even got Blink Dragon Tail on the TK as well. That'd be probably a little bit easier of a kill.
Yeah, I feel like maybe you're just looking for the bear to get vision inside the pit and then jump in, stun Kiritich and snag Roche, because he's not going to have BKB then, so maybe that's the play you're looking for. Do you even get out? What are you considering? Because if you get... Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, you got a ball game if Nemiga get this Roche.
I feel like Void Spirit dies here. Like, unless he instantly dissimulates to try and retreat back to the rest of his team, he's going to be dead.
Where's So Bad's position? Yeah, he's too far away to help out. All right, we'll see. Melrine. Oh, there we go. The jump in, the Dragon Tail. Do they get a root? They get the Savage Roar instead, so Melrine's gone. Didn't dissimulate. An Invoker brought back as well. So squad's going to look to rejoin the fight, and they're evacuating from the pit.
Now they absolutely need to make sure they're securing Roche here. Luckily, the tornado bug doesn't exist anymore for Roshan. He didn't TP to that mid lane.
They're going to lose meta shortly as well. This is a really good read from Empire. Just kite Kiritich. You don't care. They know they can't Roche, so just waste the meta out.
Might lose the Elder Dragon form, though, is the only downside. Nice use of the Sentry Ward there by BZZ, and yep, looks like they'll be able to claim it. Invoker there to be able to pick it up. As well, the Aghanim Shard on the deck. Who ended up picking up that one. Looks like it's the Invoker.
Idas! Okay. I'm gonna get too worried about the minus 3-second downtime, something like that from squad. It's okay. We can always be better in some areas than others.
It was big that they were able to get that
Vajra.
turn around. That
No. This is not good. Sentry drop. That's how you defend your towers. No Treant Protector to stall. He's got a buyback, but... Uh-oh. You got to bear with alacrity. This is not good. Oh,
and
no.
AC,
Oh,
and the
no.
Blightstone, and the little shredder.
Okay, hang on. It's a lot of damage, Retrograde.
They didn't actually look to commit. He might still die to the tower hit. Oh. Oh, he resummoned just before it died.
Oh, we're looking at the bear. I'm like, what's going on? Who's dying? Everyone's healthy.
No plus 300. Yeah. It was on like 40 HP with a tower shot coming out to him.
Well, back for exactly what Nemiga did last ages. So push the map. You already see Terrorblade's illusions down to bottom, forcing Retrograde to this area. They know that he TP'd down, so they won't have the Dragon Knight. This is... Okay, I like this from Nemiga. They're going to try and smoke, but it looks like Dire, they are wary of this attempt. Very weary? Wait, weary.
Weary is tired.
Wary.
Which... Midnight.
I'm going to be tired tomorrow. No, there's a DD on charge slow.
Lone Druid's finished up his Thompson Sniper build. The 5 Wraith Bands plus the Boots of Speed. And here we go. They're going for a smoke with the DD picked up on the Bear. You've also got the level 20 plus Aghanim Scepter for the Dragon Knight. They want to get another free pick off here onto Vajra if they can. Well, we revealed on the lane just for a moment, but unfortunately Clockwork wasn't in position to be able to get off the hookshot.
Incoming.
I see you. You guys, this trade's not gonna work. You gotta get back.
Like, you don't have the ulti on Zeus. Like, do you not just push up into the high ground? It's like they want to push through bot. It's not as much where they've set up, and why not? Still playing scared. I suppose Invoker TP'd back to the lane to push it out.
Oh, Rango. Okay, want the 12% with the spell amp. Level 24, the Void Spirit is going to the Ag Shard next as well. Kiritich also has the Silver's Edge completed, so you've got the break now for the DK. Because the break as well versus the Druid's going to be kind of nice with the Spirit Link.
Plus the Bear.
Yes, sir.
That would demolish the claws.
Oh, yes. That's a good point.
Radiant are scanning.
Just tap. In true form. Alright, they're going to smoke up. They do not have a ward to... Actually, they do have a ward on the cliff. So they're scouting out Empire retreating back to their jungle. Oh, did they see that ward with the blink over? Not going to happen.
I believe so.
Okay.
And it's off.
This is what Clockwork does really well. You know, he's just constantly using that rocket flare on the other side of the map.
Smoke's going to pop. Vajra in the middle. Retrograde's going to jump on the Pugna. They're going to try and blow him up before the Nether Ward is utilized. So Bat has to drop this before they secure the kill. But Kiritich is in. Metamorphosis committed along with the Overgrowth. But Nemiga, they're hesitant. They're going to turn back for the Clockwork instead. So James is the first to be killed off. How do you enter the fight again, though, from Nemiga? They really don't have ways to jump in. It's all on Melrine.
Yeah, but they're just pushing. This is what they're doing. This is the best that they could have possibly expected. Top lane, they should be able to get this tier 2. They should be able to take the outpost away. And you know, honestly, even just getting the 1 kill as a result of how that team fight started. I mean, for Pugna not to die,
you got to get out. Melrine was in the tree line. They don't see him. They see the Zeus instead. They're going to try and blow up Retrograde. Kiritich beating down onto the Dragon Knight. They got plenty of damage. Kiritich gets the first kill. Now he's turning to Sharslow as well. Protective for the BKB. Look at the Mono. Mono and Kiritich is going to win it. The Terrorblade coming out on top along with Nemiga. You lose the Zeus, but Hellscream is more than happy with that trade.
Right towards the end of the Metamorphosis as well. TB had no choice but to man fight. And this is what I was talking about. They have the potential to come back into this if it does get super late. He's not quite 6 slotted yet either. Still has that Satanic to be able to play around with. Of course, can be very effective at things like dispelling off the Breathe Fire for himself, getting rid of the Entangling Roots if it's ever onto him. Could be a very nice tool.
Oh, hookshot, James.
Hookshot.
Curious, that was like perfect position to protect his pug now.
Rock it on.
13.
And, I mean, it's not just the Kiritich farm that I'm looking at as well. It's like the supporting cast. How are the rest of the boys going to be able to help him? And at this point in time, Pugna's the main one. Just to be able to get that Vladimir's offering will be huge if he's able to pick that up. Damage reduction is still pretty damn strong. You know, the Pugna, of course, with the spell damage reduction, and you can look to build that one into a Wraith Pact once you're done.
Also, Melrine on the Void Spirit is net worth his a couple grand behind the Invoker, but very impressed with how he has been able to have impact in this game. We saw him putting a lot more emphasis on just pushing out side lanes, trying to work towards that Ag Scepter, which he's had for quite some time, went down the Shard route, and now he's going into the Shivas next as well. So there's just extra armor, and maybe even just a vision as well to be able to find that prime target, maybe onto the Snapfire to look to get rid of that burst potential, target down the Evoker to make sure that squad can't really have a free fight where he's just spell casting, chucking out all 10 abilities.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? You just want to try and interrupt, in particular, the Snapfire early, as well as, look, if you're committing a Blink BKB stun on a Dragon Knight, and if you're hookshotting in, you don't want a Void Spirit to just come in onto the back lines and have you silenced for, 3 seconds, let's say. Invoker's going to need to pop that BKB, and then it's just all about sustain in the team fight from then for Nemiga. So they're going to, obviously drop down the Nether Ward. You're going to have Pugna in position to try and get the decrep and the heals off. You'll have the Overgrowth for the turnaround. You have, of course, Living Armor, Leech Seed, plenty of Force stuff. So it's just about surviving the initial burst and then kiting out the BKBs when they're popped by Team Empire, and then Nemiga can look to turn around.
How long do you reckon this game is going to go? I'm going to say like 53 minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay, 53-22.
I hate you. You always do it. Every time.
You've got all under that. You've got a 16-minute period where you could be on the better end. Come on.
No, I'm not. We're not doing... we're not doing higher or lower. We're just seeing... Well, I mean, I guess what do you do then? I want to see if you get it right on the dot. Otherwise, I want to put seconds in there.
Okay. I'll actually go less. I'll say. When's next Roche? So let's say another 5 minutes. Let's say 44.
Why? Why so many fours?
Why not?
Oh, that's a good point.
Why not?
I don't know. I have no rebuttal to that. Sure, why not? But it's a lot of fours. You're a fan of the fours?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I like my 10s. It's a
Why
nice...
you like the 10s?
Well, it's just a clean number. Double digits. 4 is just a... I know, you're lonely down there in the smaller
You're
digits.
lonely. You got 3 others, you know?
Alright, Kiritich, Satanic picked up on the TV. He's even holding the Spell Prism as well for the moment. Anything better that you could get? They've only got 2 items, so Timeless Relic on the Void Spirit. You love to see that.
Absolutely. Just amping up that, like, putting even more pressure onto the Invoker to pop that BKB in response to any kind of backline movement that's looking to come through. And they're doing a good job again of just stalling this out. They haven't lost a single lane of racks yet, despite being in a losing position for quite some time. What's the win probability? It's still favoring Empire, about 2-1. But I really feel like Nemiga could look to come back and potentially win this game.
James? Some heroes behind him. Vajor posture aggressively. Just hit level 20 as well, so he's got the bonus 8 armor. That's going to be really nice, especially versus Dire. What's Invoker? What's he got out? Oh, Hex on squad. Okay, this is going to catch him off guard. Who are they blowing up on Empire?
I still think Zeus needs to die, man.
Okay.
Radiant
Bye bye, Hellscream.
scanning.
Zeus or Pugna?
Support's got to go. Yeah, with the smoke, long wrap around. Look at Dire's positioning. The ward on the high ground. Squad's on the front line. You'd hate to lose the Invoker to start as well, especially with this Hex picked up. He won't have a buyback. Know where they are. Tier 2 tower's been claimed. Charger's going to charge in the middle. Radiant, they got the ward on the higher ground. They see everything onto squad. The Invoker's going to be cautious. He's able to get some abilities off though, targeting down the tree, protected with the overgrowth. It won't be available for the fight. And now with the hookshot in, they're kiting Kiritich. A BKB standing his ground, trying to beat it to retrograde. The Dragon is going to try and TP up, but Kiritich, he's got too much damage. They'll get rid of retrograde. But how can they chain this into more kills? Well, onto Shashla they go as Malrine gets the 8th. The Remnant is able to cancel the TP in its tracks. And it's a 2 for 2, and Nemiga, they come out ahead in the trade.
Yeah, absolutely. You've still got this lane kind of pushed in as well on the top side. Ooh, one creep's still alive. Doesn't look like he'll be able to retain it. But it's only 30 seconds left on this Roche respawn. It was about a mid-range one. I feel like James was just a little bit too slow.
James got the hook. Let's see if they're able to blow him up. Hex is out as well. He's falling lower low. The Sunder! Kiritich puts his own body on the line to try and keep the Void Spirit alive. He's going to go down to the south, getting rid of the Grandma. So got to be cautious though on Melrine. Squad's nearby with Hex on cooldown. Squad is going to get the kill regardless. So Kiritich, the savior play, tried to do his best to keep Melrine alive, but Squad was able to solo kill him in the pit.
Brings up his level 25. Radial Deafening Blast is going to be really nice. Doesn't matter where you are in the engagement. The TB illusions are going to be hit by that, so it's a big damage reduction looking to come through. You can even honestly look to use it to counter out people like the Pugna and the Treant Protector. We've seen how effective Vaj has been with being able to get that 4-stuff in with the overgrowth. You push him away, not going to have the same level of impact. Same sort of thing with the Pugna, right? Wants to be able to sit there and get the life drain off. You push him further away, might not have that luxury.
Oh, you're not going to have Roche as well. Look at this.
Yeah. The luxury of being able to pick up some of these really strong neutral items as well. Pugna at this point in time holding onto the spider legs meant that he was able to kite out that team fight so effectively.
Ooh.
So, you know, I was mentioning before that So Bad or Hellscream were the ones that needed to get focused down, but it's so hard to do it now. He's even holding onto the telescope instead of the psychic headband on Zeus, just because, well, that's going to buff up your Terrorblade even further.
I did like, though, how they targeted down the Treant Protector. We saw without the overgrowth, they were able to kind of kite Kiritich for a little bit. So I also don't hate if they're able to get the Treant Protector, who also, keep in mind, Vajra, they gave him the Scepter. So he has the Eye of the Forest to be playing with.
Okay. It's going to be nice. It means that he doesn't actually need to be playing on the front lines. They landed a Sunstrike onto him, but they didn't know that.
Did they... Okay, well, of course, Melrine already had one. Zeus had his Ags, and well, Pugna's Ags is debatable. Yeah, you're 100% not going to go for it, so it's just a question if you wanted the Terrorblades or not, but obviously feeling the importance on information, of course, late game Dota always comes down to information. They see the real Terrorblade. Maybe Squad's just going to cut the wave.
I mean, he's got Aegis though, right? So doesn't really make sense to commit it onto him. He's gone for the Metamorphosis duration into the next.
Okay.
I mean, now Empire are kind of having to do what Nemiga were doing for that 15-minute period, right?
Yep.
I was saying that they needed to cut the waves, and they did it really effectively. I feel like the strategy at that point for Empire was to actually group up and force something to die. I mean, they have the lineup to be able to push. You've got a Dragon Knight, you've got a Lone Druid, you've got the Minus Armor coming from the Snapfire, you've got Alacrity, and they just sat back. They let Nemiga come back into this game, and look at the win probability. 60-40 now in their favor with this draft that, if you showed me this draft before the game started, honestly, even when it did start, I was like, what the hell is going to happen this game?
Kiritich is a giga farm. Look at that. Look at his net worth. Oh,
that's
my
without
God.
even being able to steal the free
they're going to see retrograde.
net worth from the Aegis.
Nice reactions of Blink, but it's cut them in half. So James is really the main target. It's Melrine and Vajra in conjunction together. He's able to get rid of the clockwork. Not too long in the grave. Empire know that Nemiga are a little bit split, so Retrograde's going to jump the Pugna while he's trying to occupy the outpost.
Fats in the fire. Too late for
Something, I guess, but doesn't really prevent anything, right? You're not going to have the Elder Dragon form in a little bit. You know there's no Snapfire ulti now as well. So maybe it's just a case of, all right, we'll wait for the Pugna to be back alive. Elder Dragon form will be gone by that period. And use that time to push into mid.
Retrograde.
They've got the gem. on the DK.
Curitage is going to move in now with the break. Dragonite's got to be cautious. Melrain as well simultaneously is on charge. So the Druid is getting bursted down for the Void Spirit. Melrain's going to commit as well. He's got the stun coming through. Thanks to the dissimulate. Vaz is going to try and get to the middle as well with the overgrowth, but he won't be able to lock into any more Empire targets. But they do get one at least, and they don't have to commit too heavily for it.
They don't have to commit heavily for it, but again, they've got the Metamorphosis with the longer duration, so might even use this time to be able to push up onto the high ground. Force a buyback out of the Snapfire. They still back off. Well, I'm struggling to think what they're waiting for, Ares. They've got 10,000 gold in the bank on Kiritich. Maybe the Lotus, but it doesn't really feel like the Lotus is really going to turn the tide all that much. You would hate for them to have come back from such a poor start to this game, only to just throw it away by some inactivity, trying to catch the bear.
Get the bear. Easy. Okay, nice savage roll. This.
Into the Monkey King bar on the Lone Druid here.
I'll take that.
We just got some pretty big items though for Nemiga. So bad just completed the Wraith Pack. We got Refresher as well on Kiritich. They are setting up for top as your James gonna TP out. He's not gonna find squad as well. So you were mentioning that kind of Empire had to do the same thing that Nemiga did when they were down the Aegis advantage. So Empire are doing a pretty good job to at least push in the side lanes, but the Eye of the Forest is starting to stack up. So Radiant getting a lot of vision across the map.
Starting to look like a streamer's minimap overlay at this point. Just not giving away any of those ward informations, but I really feel like maybe for Empire, of course, they want to wait out this Aegis, but Retrograde hitting up onto level 25 would be pretty big as well. Just enabling a lot more of that damage to come out from the Invoker, for example, right? If you are able to land that without the BKBs being popped, then suddenly you've got a lot of that damage potential coming through. BZZ as well could land the Blink into the Scatterblast, of course, with the Aghanim Shard. So there is a lot of wombo combo potential still for Empire. So maybe that's what's causing Nemiga to play a little bit more conservatively. But now that they've waited all this time, they're not going to be able to play around the Aegis having that
Melrain's
as well.
in. Double Suns. Empire gonna get... Oh, okay. Wait, what the heck? Melrain? Sun for the moment. Thunder God's Wrath is out. They've got all the information they need to take the fight. They're onto James. Hookshot's going to give him a little bit of distance, but Retrograde, he wants to go back into the middle. Trying to jump so out of the backline. Retrograde protected with the BKB, but he's got no one else. The Dragonite doing it all by himself, but there we go. The Bear finally enters the fight. Kiritich once again offering the health from the Sunder. But they get rid of Melrain, and now the rest of Nemiga, they've got to get out. Or do they? Hang on, Retrograde. His Giga Split again. Into the middle. They get the damage. Kiritich with a break. Chargelo, he wants to enter the fight as well. In goes the Bear onto Vazia. It's a pretty good overgrowth. Terrorblade's going to look to enter the fight for the north, targeting down the Snapfire for the moment, and now turning his attention over towards the Druid. He's got the Refresher. No. He pauses.
I'm pretty sure in that recent fight as well, I want to say that the Void Spirit used the cheese and then the TB sundered him, so it actually didn't do anything. He could have potentially had that secondary level of survivability. Ooh. It also means that well, he's going for the... I think going to turn around like on this... How long you got left on the TP? He just started TPing, so this is a really bad timing coming through for Empire. If you're able to just get good old plus 300 to turn around onto the TB, maybe you get lucky. Do they have vision though?
Do they have a bear?
They do.
He can summon, and he's got bash. Oh no, they do have a bear. Sorry.
Bear's right there.
Yeah, I was too far up. So, okay. Regardless if he tries to
bash.
Well, yeah, you got a bash. He's got attack speed. I think he's gonna get a bash. So regardless if he continues his TP, Kiritich should be cancelled by the bear.
So you're saying he will?
I think regardless, a fight's going to break out. I don't think this TP, whether he deliberately cancels it or the bear cancels it, I don't think it'll get the...
But I mean, like, what can... They're completely out of resources on Nemiga. Like, Zeus has no mana. Tree has nothing.
I will
Voice
see.
Spirit is literally the only contribution here.
To play Curative. Any bashes? Oh, they got the hookshot instead. Alright, well, that's a guaranteed way to be able to lock him in, cancelling the TP. He won't have an opportunity for the Sunder with the chain control. As now they're hunting for more. They know Melreen brought back. Checking by the outpost, but he's not home. Ooh.
So, big win. They didn't use the meta after that, so the refresher was used. It's still going to be ticking away off cooldown, and ends up buying the Demon Zeal as well, just because it's still going to leave him with buyback. 6-slotted TB. It's a scary prospect, though. You've been able to get a lot of your mana back. Of course, as a Zeus with buyback, he's super capable of keeping these lanes shoved in.
And this is without an Alacrity bear. Oh my god. Vajra has to go for Empire. You got to get rid of the Train Protector.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Retrograde. Entering the fight. They're going to try and poke and prod. Oh no, you can't lose the tree. You need to keep Vajra alive. He's going to try and get himself some distance. Force staffs the capability, but nice use of the live train. Vajra's okay. They're going to turn for Retrograde instead.
Still end up losing a melee Rax though. So back and forth this game. But it swung back in favor of Empire once again. With the buyback, most importantly, I would say, being the contributing factor. Anytime you get past that 40-minute mark, buyback starts to become the most valued resource in the entire game. And it looks like my 4-4-4-4 prediction is not going to be on point.
Hate to see it.
Here's an Aeon Disc, though, completed up by Melreen. So, going to provide him with a little bit of that extra sustain.
You kind of...
EMP on the Invoke would be nice.
I was going to say, you kind of have to go down this route because he bought back. So, you need that extra layer of protection.
He's gone bots too on the squad as well.
Interesting.
Wants that movement speed, I guess.
Well, it is very important for him on... Is he moving 322 right now? 332, sorry.
Radiant are
I think he just needs to drop it and pick it back up and it'll be different. Or die. Which he hasn't done in a while.
Squads look very good. So bad. Great timing of the Thunder God's Wrath. Jesus.
So James overclocks as well, so they won't have that available. They've also got... Let's have a look at what the vision is like for Nemiga at the moment. Looking pretty solid. I mean, do they have any gems at the moment on Empire's side?
Vajra does, but no, Empire don't. I was just going to mention, I think it's important that they pick it up.
I mean, against this Treant with the Ags, for sure.
Yep.
You could probably afford, like, maybe not, considering you've got a Clockwork who's about to reach level 20. But you never know exactly where the trees are, you know? So
surely you go the leash, though, right? Because versus the Force... Wait, you can't force out... actually, no. Can you? Is it like Slark's Pounce? Okay, never mind.
You can.
So the talent's really atrocious.
This game it is, yes.
I guess Zeus can't jump out. Maybe it works as Force as well. Melrine. It's not to retrograde. He did buy back prior. You need to keep your Dragonite alive. He hasn't even popped BKB just yet. Cookie up, but it's too late. Now Curative on top of James. Not another pause.
Oh, what can you do? These poor players just constantly playing on these this ping. Bit of stutter step, and well, James, he does have the buyback, but you know, a huge portion of your damage at this stage is coming through from the Dragon Knight. He's going into that build that you were talking about, Gunner, before. This is what he was also doing for Nouns, building up into that Manta style with the Aghanim Scepter to be able to provide that roaming ward, basically, just with the Manta Illusion.
So I don't think... Well, BZ has Blink. He should be able to get out. Bottom lane real quick. Squad is a double catapult. Forge queued up and he'll probably Alacrity. So they don't have Glyph on rating. This will take a lot of damage. The Druid will not be able to connect, though, without Boots of Travel. So maybe you
They see it right now. They see 3 creeps pushing into the base on the bottom side. I don't think they're completely aware of this gigantic creep wave. Let's see what Squad's able to do with it.
There we go. James killed off. He's got a buyback. And they're going to TP back as well. Squad. You gotta be a bit cautious here, my friend. Pops refresher. Doesn't get the opportunity for the BKB. Squad's gonna try and man-fight Mallory. Hang on a second, brother. Okay, Aeon pop. That's all he needed.
Are fortified.
He just wanted to force maybe 1 or 2 other people back, so now that you don't have the Zeus and the Void Spirit there, you will still have the Thunder God's Wrath in 15 and the Nimbus in 5, but maybe you're a little bit more capable of repelling away this Terrorblade.
Is under attack.
I know my prediction's getting close, though. Oh, couple bashes. Sunstrikes getting chucked out as well with the Mortimer Kiss of the Kiritich once again with the Sunder. He can heal himself back up. Satanic Use and Kiritich is in fighting shape once again.
Wraith packed in 2. They're just trying to stall. They want this DK to be part of the defense, but I think they're going to have to give up at least the one lane of another DC coming through. You hate to see it.
Yeah. All right, 3 minutes down with the buyback on the Dragon Knight. So yeah, you're just relying on the death timer to come back up. What's a glyph status look? No, they just used it, so no potential of the glyph. There's the one thing about the Invoker. It's unfortunate you won't have refresher for the defense, but do have.
He's just he's popped Demon Zeal as well for that little bit of extra attack coming through. He does have the refresher if they wanted to make use out of the second metamorphosis, but it'd be a big call.
Yeah, it's a big call to make.
Dire's middle barracks.
Kind of want it for the double BKB. They're gonna try and jump 4-star further in on the Invoker. Without BKB, keep in mind on squad, so it's gonna be really cautious. They're doing a good job to stall it, but in the end it will be a full set. BZZ jumps in the middle. It's gonna force out the BKB on Kiritich. They've done a pretty good job at the moment. Again, poking and prodding. That's the name of the game for Empire.
It's just one lane. Like, this is certainly recoverable. One lane of Rax is nothing 53 minutes in. You've essentially got the exact same in the mid lane. So it was important, of course, for Nemiga to be able to cancel this one back out. That's the big objective that we're looking to play around, is the refreshers popped by Kiritich. They smoke not underneath any kind of wards, I don't believe.
It might have just been on the edge of one of the trees. I'm not certain. Melreen is going to jump in. Instant BKB from squad. You do have Retrograde alive, so 5 on 5. James. Look at his positioning, but Kiritich is able to sniff him out. A hook shot down to the low ground. BCC is going to try and retreat, but they've got the Nimbus out, so clock's gone. No buyback.
This is Roche now. They want to be able to take this. They want that additional little bit of farm coming through. This is the Terrorblade's Aghanim Scepter, just to be able to provide that bit of extra control for a lot of
He's jumping in with the help of squad. They're going to try and target down the Pugner for the moment, but the initiation isn't perfect. Okay, they still get the kill. At least he drops the Wraith back before he dies, and it looks like Nemiga, they're hesitant with sticking around. Kiritich is going to try and find an angle in.
I really feel like the Pugner's far more important than the Clockwork is for this game.
Lincoln's pop. Retrograde has the Dragon Tail, but do they have the damage required? Aeon Disc going to be enough to protect him. Now with the rest of Nemiga, they're connecting to Void Spirit's location, and Empire, they've committed. Retrograde, keep in mind, he doesn't have a buyback still, so the Dragon Knight's going to be in trouble. There's nothing this Mantis Star can do as the BKB will expire. They'll control him after that duration as Kiritich once again pumping out the damage. Oh no, the Either Forest! The Overgrowth controlling too! And they're onto Chargelaw with a high ground! There's nothing the bear can do surrounding Chargelaw. The Druid's gone. He too doesn't have a buyback.
Should have gone for my initial prediction. They don't know that they don't have the buyback. They're going for the safe route. You can't blame them. On Nemiga, they were in such a rough spot to be able to bring this one back, claim the Aghanim Scepter onto the Terrorblade. It just gives them essentially almost 100% uptime for that metamorphosis, plus a whole lot of additional teamfight control that's going to require these BKBs to be used earlier on by Empire to contest anything. So obviously it's important in Dota, but it's just becoming so much more of a factor to be able to get the initiation onto the key targets and have a bit more of that burst potential.
All right, Kiritich eats the Scepter, gets the Aegis, Refresher Shard in the inventory. And did he say screw the cheese? He said screw the cheese. He did ping it out there.
Well, he has no inventory space, so...
Okay, does Bear have... Bear's got Scepter, so they're pushing bot. Squad and Chargelaw combined together. Ooh. We got some shenanigans going on.
The alacrity on the bear as well.
Who pop? Okay.
BKB, what can you do to stop it?
Barracks has fallen.
They forced them all back, but squad.
They forced BKBs as well.
They don't have any either forest down bottom, so there's no crazy overgrowth plays. Still on cooldown, I
Bear's
suppose.
gonna die.
Oh, no, not the bear.
Plus 300, gives plus 300.
What'd they get? Was it melee? No, they got the range.
Ranged.
Any items we're going to be paying attention to? Retrograde. He's just a bit poor at the moment. You hate to see it. Sharchlow's going into the refresher. Kind of required late game for a druid. Really invoke him maybe with the Octarine next item.
Even just the E-Blade, I guess, on the Zeus would be an additional effective tool. You know, combine it together with your Void Spirit as well, just for that real burst potential.
How do they not have a gem? They must be dirt poor, I guess, on the supports.
Do it with flair.
There's way too much vision with the eye of the foe. You're right. It's a streamer's map. That's what I'm looking at right now. It's really continuing to get like that. Like, oh my god. What's his 25 talent? Oh yeah, the living armor AoE. There's another
For
one.
the Cog's Leash. So it is going to prevent things like the Dissimulate, the Astral Step, the Heavenly Jump. 4 staffs though, still.
Hang on, mid lane. They're onto squad. Look at the burst coming through. The double Nimbus. Oh my god.
Bang bang. That's all you need.
Kirita just
Back to base.
split. Good luck.
Dyer's
He's
top
a big
tower
boy.
is under attack.
When do you force the Invoker buyback?
Has fallen.
Rock it on.
Noreen. The bear's falling so low to Kiritich. Oh my god.
15 seconds, no bear.
And BCC is going to jump before it.
Dyer's top barracks are under attack.
Retrograde's going to do the same. He's out of mana on Kiritich. Keep in mind he does have the Aegis.
Dyer's structures are fortified.
I mean, he's the one holding onto the cheese at this stage. Potentially popping the glyph here. Sobad's really the one that they want to get on. But he's got the Aeon Disc. Anyone that goes onto him... Oh, you nearly want to micro one of these Forge Spirits just to get a single right click onto the Pugna.
Dyer's
Be able to
top
pop that.
Oh,
there we go.
Nicely
Got the
done.
Rocket Flare onto him.
Retrograde. Gonna find an angle in. Onto the tree and protect. He's valuable for the team fight. They're all clumped up for the moment. The Mortimer Kiss is getting laid down. Vaja needs an opportunity to try and pop the overgrowth out. Meanwhile, Kiritich once again trying to fight the bear. They'll turn their attention back to the clockwork and set towards the backline as BZZ enters the fight. Melrin's going to be able to do so as well with the AoE silence. Empire, they've got to get back inside the base and they will be able to do so. A 1-for-1 in the end. Pognut, Clockwork, both killed off and they don't have buybacks.
Clock will. 3 seconds away from being able to pick his one up. Look at that. Bottom lane, DD in the river. He just only has a minute left, and he doesn't have mana on Kiritich, so yeah, just still holding onto the bottle for that potential to pop it exactly when he needs it. And we're 20 seconds away from some tier 5 items. Look at TB's net worth, man. Literally, it's over 16,000. He's holding on to 15,000.
Kiritich is a big boy. Holy. My
He
second...
just bought a Moonshard and ate it, just because he could.
Yeah, I'm doesn't have boot to travel too. You probably could do that as well, my guy. You buy back.
He just got it delivered to him.
Oh, when he's what the hell? You start buying some stuff for the boys. Bro, you give a moonshot over to Melrine. Why not? This is also my second night in a row with a 60-minute game. Yesterday, I didn't get to see any tier 5s.
Yeah, didn't it finish in like 60 minutes and
Yeah.
20 seconds
Yeah.
or something?
So Dire, they're gonna get outside the base. Retrograde's trying to do that, but dude, with all the Eye of the Forest, they will see him eventually.
Chachlow's Bear might end up going down here. They pop the Overgrowth just to try and focus it down. They know that they had to resummon it somewhat recently.
No, not the bear. Oh, okay.
Plus 300. Oh,
No way. Shashlo? Okay, Melrine should be able to close the distance. Meanwhile, Kiritich is ready to retrograde.
That's a big DK. That is the biggest dragon I've ever seen.
Wait, let me get a close up real quick. Oh no,
Oh
Beak of
my
expired. Monka. Jeez, guys looking like a
I don't think
wraith.
it gets bigger than that, other than like tiny or an undying, basically.
Oh, he's got a gem at least, thank God. Hang on, charge low.
Sometime.
They're in. Once again, the vision, Kiritich.
That's a
Now,
big
but enter the
TV as
fight.
well.
Look at him go, dude. The raid boss on Kiritich. What more did he need in the arsenal? This Terrorblade. Oh my God. He's
What is this?
And the bear, no, they just resummoned. They just resummoned. So James is going to try and make the miracle happen, but they set up for a triple silence as Melrine enters the fight. They're going to chase down Retrograde. DK's got a buyback, but at least he's got the Elder Dragon form, I suppose.
They still haven't used the meta. This is still just holding on to the previous one. They just used the Refresher Orb. They've got another Demon Seal. This should be it. This should be Mega's minimum claimed, and well, they're still in such a commanding spot.
Melrine just looking to make space. Make some time, allow Kiritich to be able to beat onto the numbers, James. He wants to make that not a possibility with a jump in, the hookshot control, but it will not matter as Kiritich is too farmed. The raid boss in the Terrorblade is doing it all. Oh, Kiritich, what a performance. 17, 2, and 6 as Nemiga. Couple of kills away from taking game 1.
I'm feeling a little bit more conscious about the fact that there are a lot of buybacks expended. They're going to have a lot of tools back in their arsenal, but yeah, this is it. This is the raid boss. This is the colossal
Dude, Squad
Titan.
has to have a miracle hold on the Invoker. We've seen it before. Combo drop, trying to bring down Vajra. Might be enough damage, but so bad again. The live trade, but they get him. They get the kill, but it will not matter. Look at the throw. It is Kiritich. Objective base gaming. Goes Kiritich on the
Standing in the
Terrorblade.
base.
He's standing inside the throw for good measure. As Nemiga. Oh my lord, what a game 1. What a way back in.
Oh, you love to see it. You know, this is the entertaining. We were like, oh, we get the meta. We understand what's going on. Then we see this Pugna Zeus dual support offlane Trio Protector. To me, Kiritich was the star, though. Obviously, like he just had such a big kill involvement. He righted the wrongs of what we saw in the SEA region with their Terrorblade play. You know, we were really wanting to see a lot more active play, a lot more pushing happening, cutting waves constantly with the use of the illusions, not just playing in the jungle. And he did exactly that. Whoever made the call on Nemiga's side to be able to, you know, obviously, like I was saying, split up the map, farm. If you die, you die. But if you don't, you're going to make that net worth lead vanish. And that's exactly what they did.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just taking a look at the damage dealt as well, and I feel like we probably didn't highlight enough. I know you did multiple times saying that Zeus is going to scale, but Hellscream had the most damage dealt. And honestly, it wasn't that close.
It's a Zeus with static field. It's a Zeus with static field. It's going to happen,
Okay.
right? Especially when you get into the late game. Like, 24,000 damage was from static field alone. Kind of nutty. And,
Kinda
I
nutty.
mean, he was the one that got every single tome of knowledge as well. So just really wanting him to get him up to make sure that he was going to be scaling. Yeah, a big part of that as well was so bad, just itemizing pretty perfectly. You know, just multiple 4 staffs. He was lucky enough to be able to get the spider legs for that 40-ish minute period of the game. Of course, you switch over to tier 5 items at the end because why not? And yeah, the Wraith Pact, the Aeon Disc. It was just really nice itemization coming through from Nemiga, who were able to take that game 1. So I think your voice needs a bit of a rest before we get into the second game of the series.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm spamming down my tea right now, trying to keep the voice healthy, stop from coughing. But, oh, man, what a game 1. Nemiga being able to come back. What was it? Deficit at some stage? Yeah, it was a decent amount, probably 10 plus.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was feeling like, though, again, you mentioned what exactly the kind of the timing when we saw some signs of life for them, where they were just dodging the ages, split pushing the side lanes, and whoever made that call, like you said, was a perfect read of the game. But it was really came down to that one high ground push where the DK jumped in front of the fountain. They got the kill on the Pugna, but then all of a sudden they're way too far inside the base. Nemiga got a couple of kills, but the main thing was they were able to slow down that ages. And then we started to mention, like, hang on a second, you said this druid's going to fall off. Shashlo well and truly fell off, and Kiritij didn't. Kiritij did not fall off, and Nemiga did not as well, being able to come back and take this game one. And now they are in the driver's seat. They're the ones with this game advantage in our best of 3 of the night. So we're going to see, maybe Empire, they could be broken after that series, or maybe they could just look at, maybe you can just look at the first 40, 35 minutes or so and be like, all right, if we just clean up a couple more things, then we can easily take Empire. But all our questions will be answered. We'll find out what's in store for us after the break.